be dealing with a topic, and that's going to be automating. Sika, can you remind me, please? You're speaking on mute.
Okay, thank you. So building a mobile-friendly score sheet application while also using SharePoint as our database.
So I'm just wondering what inspired you to come up with this insightful topic?
Yeah, so I'm a passionate teacher. I've been teaching in secondary school while I was still in Nigeria, and I used to do home lessons, and I just love to share knowledge. And just thinking about the challenges I used to face in trying to score students using paperwork, and sometimes you get to miss those papers and you're in trouble because you have to account for the students' scores. And so looking at that, here I am in Microsoft technology. So I think it's time to give back to the teaching community. So I decided to just come up with this course sheet to help people, just something friendly they can just use on their phone, just like you have other WhatsApp on your phone. You just input students' course, and that while you're doing that, something serious is taking place. These courses are being recorded on the back end. And talking of SharePoint, there are a couple of other ones you can use. Yeah, so that's what inspired it.
So that is transferable skill, right? That is transferable
Yeah, sure.
skill, direct transferable skill. So I can't really wait to see the outcome of this app you want to design. And the sweet thing about it is that within an hour, we would have built an application. I just really want to see how it will be. So I'll quickly pass the mic to you because I'm really curious to see what you have for us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joseph Afeso, my MVP. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. My name is Nsikan Ikpe, and I'm just an enthusiastic guy in the tech world. Having been introduced by my coach, I'll just mention his name by passing, Jeremiah Solomon, is also a strong MVP. And ever since I was introduced to the cloud, I've been loving the way the cloud is. And part of what I will be doing today is to share this knowledge with you on how to make use of Power Apps. And we have two applications, all right, where you can build your applications, model driven and Canvas. So the model driven is data structured, all right. So the data determines how the app looks like. Just let me give you an oversight of that. For instance, you have a table, all right. You have the title, name, different columns. So when you're building an application off that data, you are simply using model-driven application. So that's model-driven application, all right? But what we're going to do today, we want to have full control on how our applications should look like, talking of the UI and how our users should interact with it. So I'm going to share my screen. I'll just walk you through what we did. I don't mind starting all over just in case you missed out in our previous class. So over here, I have this is my action where you have the control menu, all right? And then you have this tree view. This is the tree view. I can close it. I can bring it out. Then you have the insert button. You insert your controls, the text label, edit form. So this is just the categories. If you click on any of them, you have the various controls you want to input, all right? Then talking of the application, why are we building this app? It's just to help teachers make it easy for them to score their students without having to worry about having papers all over the places. And also you're sure of security, you're sure of your applications having its database updated as you keep updating students' scores. And it's a mobile-friendly application. So back to the menus here, we have the insert button, and I've already explained that you have the different categories. If you want media, if you want to put video on your application, you have it here, audio, microphone. You can do a lot of things. And we will not be able to exhaust everything here, but just flow with me. And then you have this icon here, of course, the data. They're going to ask you, you want to build an application. where do you want to store, or where do you want to get data from? Because sometimes the look of your application will also be determined by the data you have on the back end. I had mentioned earlier about model-driven application. That one is purely built off data. That means you can bring in your Excel data sheet and just build an application of it. And the system has a way of organizing your application based on the data you supplied. But with this one, I will call this one the less difficult, let me not say the most difficult, comparing those two. So with this, you have the opportunity to bring a data in, and let's just show you what that means. If you click on this, they'll ask you to add data, and you have the opportunity to use AI models if you have one, or connectors. And when they say connectors, all right, so connectors are more like there's an application somewhere, all right, and then you want to connect your application to source that application outside, and that's when you talk of connection. And we have a lot of connectors. You can also build your custom connectors, but we will learn that in the course of our training, just to mention in passing. All right, so we have tables. You can create tables from scratch. So just imagine you didn't plan, all right, and you just decided to just build an application. You can come here and create a table and use that as your backend storage facility for this application. Then we also have this here, variables. So variable is like a container where you can name things. All right, simply what holds your instructions. For those that are into software engineering, you understand better. Then you also have the search button here. So without wasting much of your time, I know you are anticipating, waiting to see what we are going to do today. Let's assume we didn't have this here. I'm going to just have to start all over. It's important. I want you to understand everything we are doing. Okay. So I have my tree view. Okay, let me come here. So first of all, what I will do, let me save you the stress. I'm going to just start all over. So if you're already here and you're like, let's continue, I'm sorry, but let's just start all over so that everyone can just be carried along. All right. So I usually like to have my resources in a logical container. And in this case, for this platform, solution is that logical container, like your folder, where you can have an application. So an application may have different resources attached to it. So it helps you to manage the life cycle of that application. All right, so I'm going to just click on create new solution, and then you name your solution. Let's call this Pillars Cloud Tech. So this is our solution name, and the publisher, I already have the Pillar Cloud here. Even if you didn't have one, you can go ahead and click and create one. All right, so I'll just save this. Okay, so I love what just happened here. It's part of what you're going to learn. If you observe what happens here, I'm being told that this solution unique name is already in existence. So what do? I need to just change it. Let's call it 2. All right, because it must be unique. You can't have the same solution name. All right, it must be unique. So it's created now. With that, I have control over my application lifecycle. If I decide to delete a component, I can delete a component. If I decide to get rid of all the application, everything that comes with it, the data source, I can just simply click delete for the solution. And I can also export my solution to a different tenant. I mean, different tenant entirely. And we'll learn that as we go on. But for today, just want to build an application. But I always advise, let your application be in a solution box. So we are in a solution called Pillar Cloud Tech 2. And then you have all the components. This is going to show you the count of all the things you have. For now, there is nothing on agents. I've not created anything on agents, nothing on apps, nothing on cloud flow, stock of Power Automate, the data workspace, your Excel and all of that, table. So for now, what do you want to do? Let's click on create, and we'll be asked what do you want to create based on this available menus here. So we have agents, and I want to create an app. A model-driven app is here. Recall what I told about model-driven app, right? And so we have model-driven app, and then we have Canvas app. We're going to go ahead and click on Canvas app because that's what we want to do today. So we'll call this Canvas app. Let me call it Pillars. I just love that name, Pillars Core Sheet. Okay, Pillars Core Sheet. And we want to make it a phone application. I'm not sure all the teachers have tablets. Okay, but at least everyone has an Android phone or iPhone. So just keep this. So we are here. What do we do next? So you have a lot of controls. You have back. Please take note, don't be in a hurry to click this back button here. Always ensure you save your work. So I'll go ahead and click save. All right. So once I finish saving my work, I can go back if I want to do anything. And there's another one too. If you want someone to start using your application, you click on publish. Everything you're doing here as you're saving your work is not out there. It's still in the development environment. You can publish it for test. But if you don't publish it, someone else may not be able to test that application. All right, so you have to publish your application. And what does it look like to publish an application? Let me publish. See what happens here. I have my name. I can call this version 1. Just in case I want to have the ability to control this application lifecycle in terms of the versioning. And also if I have other colleagues that are working with me, I can just publish this and I call it version 1. If I publish the next one, I call it version 2, so that we can always revert back to the different versions. So you have the popular icon, the undo. If you made a mistake, you can come here and undo. This is for copy and paste. All right. Then you can copy, can cut. That's just the 3 controls there. Then this insert is the same thing you have here. All right. So with this, you can have, or you can also come here and do the same, perform the same action. Of course, add data. So this Power Apps is just so generous. They give you all this on both ends. So you have the same thing here, and you also have it here. If you want to add more screen, you click here and add more screen. And what kind of screen you want to add, you have the choice to add a screen that has to do with scrollable screen, a screen that has to do with blank screen. But I usually prefer blank screen so that I can have control over what I want to create. Then the theme. How do you want your application to look like? Do you want to have red colors? Or what are your favorite theme colors? Depending on your requirements, you can make that choice here. So I kind of like blue. Blue is my favorite color. All right, so I stick to blue. Then you have the background color. And then you can choose to have your application have a background color of black. You see what's happening, right? That's black there. And then you also have blue. You have this. So let's leave it at white, right? Sorry, let's leave it at white. Okay, so you also have the background image. You can upload from stock images or from your laptop or your device. It's still about the customization. You may not have this so freely in model-driven application, which our focus is not on that today. But all of this, so you can see more, and then settings, app version. Recall what I told you about the app version. If you click on this, you have the one we are currently live. This is the one we are currently using. All right. But if you have different versions, it will show, and then you can revert to the different versions. Of course, this is editing. This is your properties pane. All right, so if you click on this pen, for instance, if I come here, okay, once we start, I will show you. If you click on this, there is nothing I'm doing here. So otherwise you would have seen the properties. So if you click on properties, because this space here, this first screen is blank and I'm trying to customize it. If I click on property, it shows me just the screen. That means, what do I want to do? Do I want to add stock image? Recall what we had here. The same thing is here. Like I said, Microsoft kind of makes things so easy. They're generous with their interface. So they kind of repeat our buttons everywhere so you can be comfortable using it. We can also have our background change. You see what's happening, right? The same thing can be done here. So stock images. So since we are talking about school, I'll kind of, let me just see if I will say anything about school here. Okay, so I would have said let's vote for the one we should use, but I'm also trying to save time. But I can already see, I can read your mind that you're voting for this one. So let me know with your reaction if I got the one you voted for. And if I didn't get it, just give me a smiling reaction. That shows that I'm doing the right thing. Okay, let me click on this. Who is getting this? Someone has to win. Is it a science student? I'm seeing your hands up. People are lifting their hands up. Me, teacher, me, sir, me. So I like this one. So someone is out there trying to ask, which one should we use? People's hands are already up, and I have to use that one. So you have the choice to use this, and then just part of what you're trying to do, customize it. So how do you want it to look like? Do you want it fit? Do you want it feel? So this is image position. How do you want to position it? All right. So you have the choice here. Tile. All right. And then you have stretch. You want to stretch. You have fit. And then you have center. I'll just keep it at fit so that I can have space for other things. All right. It's still part of your preference. You can come to advanced. So this advanced is for these buttons here. You want to do some other stuff just to customize this. If you are someone that likes code instead of just picking the colors, you can type in your code here to change the fill color of this background. Okay. And so let me kindly just go back and then recap everything I've just said. Over here, you have environment. So I always advise people try and stay on a development environment. Don't stay on the default environment, just in case you are making use of Microsoft developers account. It's always advisable to stay on the developers route. All right. So if you build anything on the default tenants, you're literally building on a managed environment. All right. So you don't have much control. So it's always good to create your own environment. You're going to ask me, how do I create my environment? You come to the settings. Remember, there are two settings here. Don't mix it up. This, you see this white background, and there is a purple background, if I'm not wrong. All right. So this purple background kind of tells you this is for Power Apps settings and pens. All right. So with this, your settings here is limited to whatever happens here. All right. Why these settings is controlling the entire Power Apps. So you can come here, you can just check here to know your name. All right. And then the notifications is this one. You come to admin center and create your environment based on the ones you are permitted to create. So we are here on the new admin center. So you come to manage. Once you click on manage, you have the opportunity to create new environment. This is my environment, and it's a developer's environment. We also have the production environment for those that are pushing their applications out there. So when you click on this, you have the opportunity to name your environment and ensure the type is developers. If you're doing developing, if you're doing some trial and production, you can go ahead and set those ones. And that's just basically it. And then you also be mindful of the region. It's a required field. The region tells you where do you want your data to be stored based on this environment you're choosing. So it's always advisable for latency's sake. So latency is how long it takes. So you want to be able to capture your data as fast as possible. So you pick the one that is closer to your region. If you're in Africa, you can go ahead and click South Africa. And that also impact the way your application behaves. Okay, so just wanted to mention that to us. Let's get back to our application. So we are here now, and remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a simple student score sheet for teachers and for educators who are trying to make things easy for themselves. And if you're traveling, you have your phone, you can quickly have your student scores imputed and then store them up on your back end. So let's go to our data source as SharePoint. I'm on SharePoint site now. And this is, I can create, let's come to home. Let's come home, all right? So you're in SharePoint. What do I want? I go to the sites of my choice and I click here. I look for the sites. I click the site. Once I click on the site, I have the opportunity to create a database structure which will be used for my application. It can also be used for other things, but for this purpose is for my apps. So I'm going to click on list. So for every, we'll use the blank list. Like I said earlier, it depends on what you need. You can choose to import. If you already have students Excel sheet. So for teachers that already have this Excel sheet, all right, I mean, those ones that have left paperwork and are using Excel sheet, and you're trying to make things easy for yourself instead of always trying to open the Excel sheet to or update data, you can quickly import your Excel, which already has a structure, the tables, the columns, and all of that, the student's name. You can import it from there and create your own list, or you create a list from blank. There are also templates from Microsoft. And if you have your own template, you can come to your organization template. We don't have one for now. So just go to the blank and we call our SharePoint list. Let's call it pillars score sheet. Just call it score sheet. And then we create it. Here we go. So in every typical score sheet, what are those columns you usually have? What are the components you have? All right. One of our teachers is here. Let me just give him his own stuff. All right. So what are the components you have in the score sheets? You have the student's name, and you also have the subject, and you also have the scores you want to put there. And so just give me a second. Let me give him what he needs so that he can allow us to learn. Here you go. All right. Thank you for the patience. So for the student's name, it's going to be a text base. All right. It's something you write, so it's text. You don't use choice for that. And because the text is not going to be too much, it's not an essay, so you just pick text instead of multiple lines. So we'll pick text and we'll be asked to name it. So we'll call it student name. Okay. Name of student. And so we want to find out how many characters. Let's just give it to 40. I don't think they'll be able to exhaust up to that. So student name. The next thing you need to do is a subject, and subject still has to do it. Then there's another thing I want to show you. If you already have your subject predetermined, and so I mean, you already have a structured subject in your school, and you know what you're teaching: physics, chemistry, and math, those three. You can decide to make use of choice. That means you just select the subject. So they're already pre-populated into the applications. So you don't have to type the subject, but that will limit you because anything can change. They can change your subject and move you to a different subject. So what do? You have to build or go about interrupting your application. So let's leave it at text where the teacher can have the opportunity to insert their own subjects. Okay, so we call it subject, or someone mentioned course. Thank you. I remember we are not in secondary school. So I'll just the course of learning. Let me just call it that way. We'll leave it here. So after course, what comes up? We can have, let's just say, after course, you have student course, and we also want to know when it was marked. It's important. So just look for date. I'll call it score dates. You have the choice to build your application however you want to do it. Right? So the description is for someone to know what is happening here. For instance, if I am employed in Pillars Cloud and my job description is to build applications, and I happen to travel to a different location and I'm not around, we need someone else to continue in managing this application or do some other things. What happens? So the person needs to know what each of the field represents. That's where you have description. It's always good. It's optional, but it's always important. So you won't see them. There's no exterior here. So it's not a required field, but it's important because you want someone to recognize and know what you're doing. So when, I'll just call it when was this score recorded? Yeah. When was this score recorded? So you can put yours when the score was recorded. It all depends on what you want. So we have date and time. Do I want to include time? Yes. Do I want to remove the time? Yes, I remove it. So I don't want time. I just want the date. Okay. And I want to make it friendly format. That means the friendly format means if you're in the UK, you should be able to move to your own time zone. All right. So default time, let's keep it on today's date. All right. So the person knows it's on the current date. We'll leave it at this. So we have the, let me split this. Okay. So we have the student's name, the title, you can always rename it. Let's just call it, the title should be exams. All right, let's leave it at exams. So we have student's name, the course, the score. What happens to the score? We have to score them. All right, so that will be a number. Click on number, we call it score. Simple, just score. Or oh, sorry, what am I typing? Students score is better. All right, so you have number, but you don't want your number to have, you don't want to have decimal places. So I just don't like that decimal. So I can choose to, they're asking me number of decimal places. I say 0. Just want 70, 20, 40. Don't want to stress myself so much. Default value, no. So that I won't end up giving someone 50% when they have 20, or 20 when they have 30. Just, I don't want to be tempted. Just put your score. All right. So we have this. You save it. Looking at this, you can decide to do more on your, just in case you recall that you made a mistake, you can come here and column setting and edit. So part of the editing process to just be, you want to make changes here. For instance, with this, I could say, okay, let me do this. I want to make it a required information. So it is compulsory. So with this, on the application, you will see this asterisk, which is a requirement. But I don't want to, just want to make something very simple for us. So just want to show you, so you know you can have that changes done to it. So we have save, and remember on this SharePoint site is auto save. Everything you're doing is saving yourself. So we can move back to our Power Apps. Everyone have their own method of building things and the way they do it, but there's always that better standard of doing anything. But I just want to just increase my speed. I don't want to waste much time. So I'll just quickly add my data. First of all, I'll add my data so that I don't forget it. So you have connectors, and you are being asked what kind of connectors. You just scroll down. And if you're not sure, you can search it here. SharePoint. And I click on this. For some, you'll be required to sign in all over, just in case it's your first time coming to this environment. You'll be asked to sign in. Just go ahead and sign in. I can also import data from a different tenant. Remember, it's a connector. I can get it from a different tenant. All right. So, but with this, we are building everything within the same tenant. I'm sure it was on IT. So we have, what did I name it as? Pillar score sheets, I'm sure. Okay, yes, pillar score sheets. I'll click on this. And then you click connect. So you have the success notification here. Data source score sheet was added to your app. Okay. So this is our tree view. Our tree view shows us what is going on the applications. What have we added to the application? So I click on tree view. I just have the application, which I can decide to do all other things. Then on the application I have, so it's like a tree. Remember, they call it tree view, like a tree. So for a tree, you have the roots, all right, and then you have the various parts of the branches, fruits, and the seed. So the same thing happens to this. If I click on this, it shows everything we have. So I have the screen, the first screen here. I can name my screen from this point. I can also name my screen from here. So I can call it screen. It's always best practice to use this format, depending on what your company or enterprise permits. So I'll use home. I'll use screen home. And once I click enter, it will reflect here. If I also come here, I can click on edit button here and rename it. It will also reflect here. So we have screen home. This is so that whoever comes to your application knows what these controls are. Oh, this is screen, this is home screen. So what would you like to put on your home screen? So that's where you bring in inserts. This insert here, also insert here. So I click on insert. text label. When you go to the store to buy any item, you have different labels on the items. You pick the item and then check the label. You have tomatoes and all of that. The same thing happens here. Click on text label and it shows up. You can customize your text label. So let's click on the text label. Let's assume we were here and you want to customize your text label. When you click on the text label, you go to this properties pane here. You click on properties. That helps you customize your text label. I can call this welcome. I can just, some people might just customize it further. Say, hi teacher. Welcome to students score sheet. All right, so once I click enter, we have it here. Like I said, is best known to you how you want it to be. Okay, hi teacher, welcome to students score sheet. But this is too much, so I can control the font size here. I can decide to say, let me just use 18, for instance. I have it reflected here. But if you look at the way the text label and the text inside the text label is not well aligned. So I have that control here, text alignment. I'll make it centralized. And then what else can we do? Do you want to make it very bold? And that is it. Or do you want to make it semi-bold, normal, much lighter? Well, I don't want to make too much noise, so I'll just prefer, if I were the one to build this app for myself, I'll prefer lighter. But of course, I'll have to ask my boss. All right, and if I were to be employed in Pillars Cloud, that would be Joseph Afeso. I'll ask him, what do you think we should use? So let me presume he would prefer normal. So I'll use normal. And for the colors, you can choose your text color and then the field. Just be looking at what's happening on my background. So I use black. And if you don't like what you see while you are going to be doing your hands-on, please use whatever color you like is allowed. So we have our first, apart from the home screen, we have our first control here, which is the text label. But want to rename it. So I click on text label. I come here. I call it LBL. Then let's call it header. All right, so you call it header. That means that's the first thing that comes up on the screen. You can adjust your header depending on how you want it. But I'd just like to have it fill the entire space. Okay. There are so many things you can do. So the next thing we want to do, so our app is making progress. The next thing we want to do in this application, once someone gets this welcome text, hi teacher, welcome to students score sheet, what happens? The person has to go into the score sheet. And so that's when we bring in our next button. So that will usually come under, you can call it inputs. All right, to come under input. But why do we have it here? It's because I've been using it, so it just put it on the popular control. But it will usually come under input because we want to make input. So the button is here, and I bring it down here. The same thing happens. Go to properties and go to properties here and call it enter. Whatever you want to use is left to you. If you want to tell the person get out, I'm just joking, you can type it get out and the person will be surprised. You're welcoming me, I'm asking me to get out. So it's enter you use, and then you just go ahead and rename it. The convention is usually to use btn and enter. All right, so we have it that way. You kind of centralize as you're moving your control. You have these guided lines here to help you. All right, centralize things. So, but I don't like, there's black here, there is blue. So I would love to have it blacked as well. Or I can alternate the effects and have black there and then have this as white. But I want to differentiate the white. I don't want to make it full white. So let's make it something a bit cool. It's not really white. Okay. This is cool. I like this. Just want black to complement this other black here. That's my preference. You can also do it the way it works for you. Remember, we already have our data. So once you're building your application, you have the opportunity to test things while you are still in your development environment. So this is where the test comes in. You can also press F5 if you're someone that likes shortcuts. Then this is comments. If I want to make a comment on this, I can just add a comment. I can tag my colleague, anybody I want to tag. All right, so just make comments and send. I could just say, I am building this app and finding things tricky. I mean, just so the person knows what's happening, I can just save it. All right. Okay. I'll just close it. So this is your app checker. This helps you to know what you're doing. You see what's happening here? Data source 1. Performance, nothing's really happening. Accessibility, nothing's really happening. If you're typing your formula, we'll come to that, because formula helps your control. So formula is a way of you telling your control, behave in this way. Telling your control, sit down. Tell your control, move forward. That's what the formula does, all right? Okay, so I will quickly continue. So you have sorry. Okay, one of our lecturers is here. Just don't touch my equipment. Okay, so we have where you can preview your application. All right, so you click on play, and you want to find out what's going on in your application, how things are working for you. So you click on this, enter. Nothing happens. You click on enter. So this is what will happen on the user interface. All right. This is what happens on the user interface when they click on your application. Nothing happens, and they'll call you and tell you, hey, we have a challenge. Your app is not working. So what happens? You come back. You did not tell your enter button what to do. You didn't advise your enter button what to do. So I'm going to advise my enter button. I'm going to direct my enter button on how to behave. And that is what I would do. Okay. Give me a second. Let me sort. Just give me a second. Joseph, you can just have maybe people can ask questions and then I'll come and answer. Just give me a second.
All right, so we can see that our senior lecturer is around, so we need to understand with him. So that's why I was mentioning that it's out of the passion for teaching, transferring knowledge generally, that's actually make him, amidst all the activities, still be here, right? So it is at that point that everybody is just curious to see how this application is really going to be. We have the team here by the by the backstage. If anyone has any question here, you can ask. I'll be checking the Facebook broadcast to see if anyone has a question there. So if you know you are live watching from any of the platforms as well, you can ask questions. So from the team here, you can also give your feedback on how you feel the class is going so far. If you feel it's too fast, if you think you need to slow it down, if you feel it's too slow, that we need to take it faster. But if you're as anxious as I am to see the end goal of this application, you can also just let us have that as a comment. I'm checking through to see if we have any comments on any of the platforms here. Checking. Okay, I don't have a comment on Facebook. I'm going to check my YouTube now. Okay, so Solomon from the back end is saying, yeah, Solomon, I see your hand is up. You can also unmute and speak if that's fine by you.
All right, thank you so much. I don't know, while our trainer was taking us, my eyes was double clicking. So I'm looking at the time and I'm looking at what he's doing. But what I'm actually curious about is I'm just thinking what we want to do and we finish it today. I'm just thinking if we can probably fast forward him by 4 so that I can see the X2, so that I can see the end of what it's about. So and we are thinking of 45 minutes, 1 hour. So I was like, okay. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's too slow, but that is just the perfect. So at the same time, I was like, between now and December, does it mean if we have to take between now and December, definitely we should be able to build Nigeria and have the data and all. Anyway, it's actually just the perfect class so far, and I'm glad being in this training today. Thank you.
All righty, thank you very much for that. So we predicted 45 minutes, you know, and myself too. I'm also looking at the time here to see who is already like around that, you know, getting close to the time that we scheduled for it. And I'm also curious because I really want us to see the end result of this app that we are building. That's why we may have to appeal that if there's a possible extension in the time that we have allotted for this, just so we can possibly wait to see the end of it. But if it is not convenient, again, that's not like a problem because learning, they say, is a continuous thing. We can, from his own end, from my end, I don't have an issue, right? So I can wait until we get to the end of this. But if it's not convenient for him, of course, we may have to continue again because there's always next week for us to continue. So yeah, we have him back now. So I'll just go backstage again. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much, guys, for the patience. All right, so I was part of the contributions and the questions. Here, we're going to make it very fast and get to the end. I can see the curiosity, and I'll also do the same thing. So I'm equally waiting to see what's going to happen. So I mentioned earlier, you click on play, right, and you enter, nothing happens. So I want to give this my enter button and instruction. That's where you have this formula space here. So what happens once you click on this, you come to this drop down list and you select, assuming nothing happened there, I can just select unselect and I'll be lucky to have it here. So what that means is on my unselect, when I select this, what should happen? I have to determine it from here. So I want it to navigate. Once you click on navigate, you have your target. You'll be asked, where do you want to navigate to? And for now, we don't have a location to send it to go navigate to. We don't have location, all right, to have it. So what we do, we have to create an extra screen that I want to move to. So I come to next new screen, I click on blank, and on the blank screen, Of course, the same thing works. You come to properties and you rename it. What do you want to call it? Score S. Okay, call it SCRN score. So call it score screen. All right. So once you are here, you want to bring your other screen to this place. So we go back to the formula. And as you're typing navigate, is so intelligent to bring it up and ask you what's the target. The target is screen score. Okay, it says that's fine. So once that is done, what happens? You close it, and then you want to have a screen transition. How do you want the screen to transit? Do you want it to shake, or I just click none? Don't do anything, just move to the next screen, and that is it there. So let's play it and see what happens. Remember to always save it, save your work, it's important. Let's click and see what happens. I click enter. We are here on the score screen. So something is happening now. So we go back to our tree view and we click on the screen button. So once we've done that, what happens once we go there? We have to come back. So we screen on the score screen. We also need to insert a button. You can just type back arrow. Some people prefer this back arrow. Some prefer this. You can also use a button, but I just prefer the arrow. Something very simple, and you can adjust the size to what you want. Okay, so I just put this here. Do you prefer it down or do you prefer it up? It's up to you. So I just put it here. And I also need to give this, and by default, it will always be on select, but make sure it is on select. All right, make sure it's on select. That means when I select this button, what should happen? Navigate back. The same control or instruction, navigate. So where do we want to go to? The target should be screen home. Okay, you have screen home screen here, and then you close it. How do you want the behavior, the screen transition? Okay, so you want it faded or none, depends on your choice. All right, so assuming I had my functions, if my functions was not correct, let's just type something, anything here. You see what happens? There is a red exterior X here showing you name isn't valid. And then you come here, you see this guy, app checker tells you how your app is behaving in terms of the functions. So you click on it, you're wondering what's happening. They say formula. Okay, one issue. What's the issue? Click on this, and you can ask Copilot to help you. You can ask questions. All right, so that was just to show you what happens there. So we stick on none, and that seems to be okay. Okay, let's click. We are back on screen. So we're making progress. I'm sure someone is excited that we are making progress. So what's next? We have to bring in our form, because you want to impute the student's name, the score, and all of that. So you bring it in. Okay, so you bring your form in by doing insert. You already have. So you can just say edit form, because it's part of the input control. Edit form, and the guy is so intelligent. Ask you select a data source, and you already have your data already inserted in the applications, and to come up here. If you didn't have it, you have to click on select on connectors. All right, and then go ahead and add the same thing. So I'll just click on score sheet. It will load my fields. Let's just wait for it to load. Good. So you have it here, students. Just click on this external so you can. I want to move things. I have a way of doing it. You just drag it down, and you come here and drag it down. Okay. All right, I was looking for this function to drag. So you just wait for it to give you this symbol. Then you go ahead and drag. And just click on the outside here. And you have your student's name. You can increase this. Oh, sorry. You can increase this. The principal himself is giving me instructions on what to do while I'm building an application. What a wonderful thing. So you come here. So I have a choice to remove certain things I don't want. So that's when I come to, if you click on form, remember this is your tree view. You can have full control here. Go to properties. You edit it, call it F. I will assume form should be FRM. Okay, bye-bye. Form 1. Or you can just call it form. But it's not much. Just call it form. Okay, just call it form. So we have the ability and the right to change our fields. What are those fields? These are fields. Whether date, score, title, content, that are fields. So you can come here and edit your field. You see what's happening here? You see these 3 action button here? You click, you can remove, or you can bring it down. Are you seeing what's happening now? I bring it down. So I can just make changes and it will be reflecting here. So what do I want to see? Once I have this form comes up, what should be the first thing? I believe it should be, let's say the student's name should be up. But it all depends on you. If you prefer the date first, it's all up to you. Student's name, course, score, date, and so title, I don't really want title, I remove it. Content type, I don't want it, I remove it. So you can see I have what I need. I have control over what I want. You can also add new fields, okay? And that will be updated on your SharePoint. Now, how do I want it to show? The 2 columns. You see how some people prefer it 2 columns, just like this. So you can just see some people prefer it 1 column. So the choice is yours. I'll go back to form. Let's just leave it at 1 column. So I can just fill this. But if I need any space, I can just come back and change it to 2 columns or 4 columns. So be careful when you are selecting your controls or your fields. You could just come here and your intention was to select the entire form and just click here and you click on stuff. Oh, it's deleted. What do? Come back here, undo. Okay. Come back here and click undo. Let's see if that has affected my form. That didn't work. What happened? Hold on. Undo. Let's see. Oh, allow. So you have to add that back. I like that. So we come here under form, properties. You can add field. Okay, name of student. So you can see I want to add my field back. I'm like, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I want to add you back. So the guy is back. And I'm saying you have to go back to your position, which was up. I keep pushing it up. Keep moving it up. Okay, so we've gotten back to our. So you see what happened now? So you have to be careful. Always click on the form if you want to make changes. So click on the form and then do your magic there. So I'll bring this. I want it to be a little bit. Okay, so let's see what happens. I want to have my form update itself once I input data. If I go to play, nothing's happening here. Okay. So I have to make sure that my form has some control. So once I have to come to item, give me a second. So let me create another screen. Blank screen. So I'll call this screen. You see, screen. Okay, let me call it sheets. And then I'll bring in a gallery. So you type gallery. You know what gallery does? It shows your data. So I'll bring in a blank vertical gallery. I'll be asked the data I want to, but for now I don't have any data. So, but you can choose to have this gallery here. It's all preferences. I choose to add my gallery under this place, but choose to do. I'm trying to show you how you can customize your application to your own test. You have the rights, and so I just choose my. Okay, I can. So that whatever happens here will be shown here. I don't want it to be on the next screen. So let's leave this screen for now. Let's just make use of this. Okay. So for now, there is nothing here to show. But then I want to, whatever I type here will be displayed here. All right. So far, any question, do not forget to drop your questions on. Drop your questions so we can help you answer your questions. Okay. So I'll come to this form. What do we want to do? Edit form. Sorry. Give me a second. Okay, all right. Just wanted to be sure nothing was there. Okay. Items. So let's go back to our SharePoint and add an item first and see what happens if it is even syncing into our application. So I'll call this, let me call this physics. Physics, and the student's name, I'll call it Shola. I don't know if there's such name. And then I can call the exams quantum physics. The dates, you can just choose to make it this day. And the person scored 50, for instance. I can choose to attach the hard copy sheet that I use in recording and just save that there. Let's see what happens. Something should happen here. Hold on. We have to give it time to update itself. Controls, it should show up soon. Just give it time. Part of what you need to learn is that sometimes the actions may not be as fast as possible as you would expect. So let's go back here and refresh. Okay, so what that is happening, let's work on how to update our application. So just give me a second. But if you have any questions so far, you can ask me. Okay. Let's see if there's any changes. Pillar score sheets. Okay. I have to add the data again. Just to be sure that we are in the right environment. Okay, IT, and then we have pillars, yeah, score sheets. Oh, I see. So I used the wrong data source. It's pillar score sheet. Okay, pillar score sheet, and for this form, the data should not be, the data should be data pillar score sheet. So I used the wrong data source. So replace my data cards then. Sorry guys, it happens. So you have to be, that's where your naming conventions come in. All right, so we have it updated here now. So we're kind of going back to what we did earlier. We did the fields, remove this. I don't want the title. I remove it. So we have just this. So that will impact our, let me see what's happening here. Formula. Yes, that was already fixed. So let's go back to make sure that we're in the right place. The last score sheet, okay. Okay. So it should probably be updating itself now. That's the beauty of Canvas application, a lot of troubleshooting. So you have to make sure you do the right thing. So I want to see my data should be updated here. This is the item pillar score sheet. But we have data here. So let me add more data and see. Just gonna add more data and see. Just type anything, okay. Or just call it NAMI. And then the cost could be Gov. This is 60. Okay. In terms of or connect data.
Experiencing is just the regular delay we would have for synchronization, right?
Yeah.
This last screen you have here is going to like be the outcome of what was entered, right?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It has updated itself now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it happens. So one has to be patient. Like I said, it's one aspect that if you don't have patience, you will not. You just get upset and leave the system. Okay, so I'll bring this here. So you can see whatever I did is updating. So let me reduce this. So it's scrollable. Sorry, guys. It's scrollable. Yeah, let's go play with this. Okay, so you can scroll it. But for this, so I don't know if anyone is confused so far because we had to go back and forth in what we're doing. So what I did was I brought in a gallery, vertical gallery, and I was asked what data source do I want to use. I take the pillar score sheet, which my SharePoint. And so whatever was happening at the back end at pillar score sheet will reflect here. But what next? What do you want to do next? We want to make sure we put in data here. Once we type it, it should reflect here. So this is our edit form. All right. Want to do it such a way that once I impute anything I want to impute, I don't have to go back to SharePoint and impute it. I want to do everything here. All right. Okay, so with this, I can reduce. I don't have image. I just want title. I want the title and okay. Maybe title and subtitle and body. Okay. So that everything will show. So far we have name. So that's not what we want. The field must be well selected. So we need student's name. After student's name, what else do we need to have? The course, right? Student name, where is course? Okay, this is course. Quantum physics. After that, we need to have score. So I'm picking my, so how do you want it? Who should come first? Name, score first, name, so you can edit that using this. By saying, okay, let me just use score here. And then maybe a student's name. I hope that works. Okay. So we are back to this and want to design our form in such a way that once you pick it, you should have the ability to edit. So let's say some people use patch. I'm not sure I'll use patch. Let me see. Yes. Form edit. Form edit. Okay. Okay, let me use patch. The record I want to use is score sheet. Score pillars, score sheet. And then what do I want to update? Give me a second. Okay.
So I'm just thinking, it's not just course sheet, is it plus course sheets? No, we had that mistake earlier, right?
Yeah, it's pillar score sheet, see it here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just have to go and delete that other one so that next time we'll not have that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'd rather use edit form instead. I don't know why this function is not coming. How about new? New form. Okay, so let's just use something different. Let's say submit. It should be item. I'm not sure that will work. Yeah, because this submit is not on unsupported function. Just give me a second. Let me troubleshoot this and see. Okay. So I'm on the right track, should be item. So I don't know why it is not functioning the way. Okay, like I said, let me just remove this and put it again. Okay. So I'm going to put in edit form. Edit form. Okay. So let me even see what's happening. Okay, only this is showing. Okay, there are many ways to do this. So I'm just going to remove this. There are many ways to do it. So let's take this out. I'm going to add in a function so we don't stop our work here. So I'm going to use this. So the function, once I select it, what should happen? I should submit a form. What kind of form should I submit? Pillar score sheet form. Or once I click on it, you should edit form. Yes, thank you. Pillar. Okay. Edit form, pillar. That should be okay. What's happening? Okay. Oh, we're stuck here. The function is expect an editable form. Form on select. Let me try this function and see what happens. Okay. If you are trying this and you're able to sort this out, you let us know. Okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. Score sheet. Okay. Let me change this to edit form. The form is pillars. Let's so control.
About trying something like live most times. Some things we just stubborn to work.
Yeah. I feel for my guys that are following. I mean, it was working all the while, but I mean, it's part of what we face as people that do online things. If you're not strong, you just faint. So okay, so I'll just try one more if it persists, and then we'll just need to come back for this. Yeah, there are no two ways about it. Because the submit form, the form function should be pillars. That's the form I have.
That's the form, yeah.
Yeah, that's the form. So, and then it should close this. Okay, let me even try the other form. Let me just play the trick with it and see. Oh, I think I see what happened here. Let me see.
Hey, Odogu.
Let me see this form. I think someone's mic is off on. So we are submitting this form. Okay. So this should be edit. So let me quickly do this again. I think I'm gonna get the guys edit form 3. Okay, so let's see what happens. And select edit form 3. This is form 3. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, guys. So if I click on this control, it should bring this form out for me to edit. All right. So that's the idea of the edit. Then we should have had that pop up here once you click. So this function is not working. I don't know why it's not working. So let's try one more time, like I said. Data source. Okay, so we'll just pause here. I will troubleshoot that, and I think our next class I should be able to bring it up. By then we should have lesser distractions. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see that as I don't see that. I don't see that as distraction though. So yeah, even though I know how inconveniencing it is for you, but it gets to show the other part of you, the dedicated part of you, to contribute to people. So I hope that he gets to watch this video one day when he grows up.
You will. I will take it from him. Thank God for short point.
Sorry for talking without taking permission. That is what has been in my mind, that one day this boy will watch this video and will be excited that he actually disturbed his dad.
Yeah, so he actually taught us today.
Thank
so
you.
We are happy. The real MVP. Greetings to you. So Nsika, thank you very much for your dedication to sharing knowledge. It is really appreciated. Everything makes sense. If things work perfectly, it means that we did not try enough. So the fact that things are failing means that we actually did a lot. So we'll come back with this by next week. So guys watching from the other social media platforms, we want to say thank you for sticking through. So just stay with us. We'll be back here by next week. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you too.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you. Hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.